me this morning because my life changed forever on September the 11th, 2001. As a direct result of events of that unique and unparalleled day of days, I can now number myself among those who have stood up and placed themselves between the soft, tender flesh of our fellow citizens and those who have vowed to destroy us. As a direct result of the suffering that I witnessed my brothers and sisters in arms endure during my first tour of Iraq, when 83 of those soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines were killed, when 711 of them were wounded, I quit my former life's work as a Presbyterian minister and moved hundreds of miles here to care for veterans and dedicate myself to doing all I can for them. I will confess to you, though, I was not always passionate about caring for veterans, even after my first 20 years in the Army. You see, I grew up in a family where military service was as natural as going to school, playing sports, or belonging to a civic organization. My younger brother Daniel actually beat me into combat by deploying to Bosnia, where he served for 22 straight months. Our father is a veteran. His brother, a pilot, was a veteran of the Berlin Airlift, Korea, and Vietnam. Their dad was a combat veteran of World War II, and the attic of his home was filled with war trophies, where a young boy and his cousins could allow their imaginations to entertain them for hours. Stories of our great-grandfather's interaction with Civil War veterans were common, as were tales of my great-great-grandfather's survival at Andersonville Prison, the deadliest prison of the Civil War. He returned to his Butler County farm a different man than the boy who had left. Were stories of our great-great-great-great-grandfather, who was part of the historic Battle of Lake Erie in 1812 before becoming the clerk of courts in Allegheny County. And his father, a man that the public record says stood 6 feet 7 inches in his stockings, was a sergeant in the Pennsylvania militia when the nation was born. So I didn't give a lot of thought to service to the nation. I thought every family served. But then the world shifted. A cataclysmic event happened on a sunny Tuesday morning in September, and my life would never be the same after I went to Iraq the first time. And although I am glad to come and be with you here today, coming home is bittersweet. I often feel like a stranger among so many civilians. I miss so many bright faces and smiles, those who like to belong to my best friend, Lieutenant Colonel Mike McLaughlin, who was killed on January the 5th, 2006. Sergeant First Class Daniel Brozovich, Specialist Mark Cassetti, Specialist Clifford Moxley, Specialist Carl Curran, Specialist Mark Melcher, Specialist Chad Edmondson, Sergeant Carl Morgaine, Staff Sergeant Ryan Ostrom, Staff Sergeant Daniel Leitner, Sergeant First Class Randy McCauley, Sergeant First Class Brent Adams, Master Sergeant Sean Thomas, and a host of others. As of today, in the 54 states and territories, Pennsylvania ranks 3rd with the number of sacrifices our Commonwealth has made, laying lives down on the altar of freedom.
To be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take